So I intend to go out there and be as violent as possible and make sure that she's leaving there hurt and not just with no doubts in her mind whatsoever, or her coaches or her team or anybody.
She still didn't put me out. She didn't finish me, right? It had to go to the decision, which gives me more confidence going into the season with I'm pretty sure that she's going to be the person I see in the finals. But knowing that I've already experienced her hardest punch, her hardest shots, everything she had to offer, and none of it was able to stop me. So that means I can come out even stronger this time with more likelihood of having that hand raised.
Well, takes a step, she has all that weight. You see, I want to take the big chance. Oh, and Steph gives in, and they're taking advantage of it.
Getting that lead leg
In the stand. Referee Bryce be eliminated. Forward, John, but unable to do much, and that's and it's over.
Liz Carmouche just sent a terrifying message to Dakota Ditcheva. I'll beat you. I'll end you. And Dana White himself? He's calling Liz one of the best women fighters of all time. Is Dakota Ditcheva about to get exposed? That wasn't some random hype. That was Dana White praising Liz Carmouche, not just as a fighter, but as one of the most courageous women in combat sports. Remember, Liz was the first openly gay fighter in the UFC, an ex-Marine, and Dana called her a trailblazer, who had the balls to do what others were too scared to. Now, Liz isn't just here for respect. She just dropped the most savage fucking warning to Dakota Ditcheva we've ever heard, basically saying, I'll beat you. I'll kill you. That's not humble fight talk. That's a death sentence aimed at the undefeated golden girl of the PFL. Dakota may have star power. She may have finishes. But Liz Carmouche is a legend, a pioneer. The same woman who nearly submitted Ronda Rousey in the very first women's UFC fight. The same woman who smashed Juliana Velasquez twice in Bellator. And now, she's looking straight at Dakota and saying, you're not ready for me. Dana White has never been shy with praise. And when it comes to Liz Carmouche, he called her one of the best women fighters alive. Let that sink in. Dana White, the man chasing the next Ronda, the next Nunes, the next Valentina, is saying Liz is that dangerous. So if Dana already believes Carmouche is elite, imagine what happens if Liz actually destroys Dakota Ditcheva in a UFC cage. That's not just a fight. That's a fucking nightmare for Dakota's hype train. But hold on. Dakota Ditcheva isn't just hype. She's undefeated. She's the $1 million PFL champion. She's violent, marketable, and she just ended Taila Santos with brutal precision. She's got Dana White's attention already. And fans have been screaming for her UFC debut. The problem? Liz Carmouche doesn't give a damn about hype. She doesn't care about PFL belts. She's been through hell, through wars, through careers that ended other women. And she's telling Dana White straight up, this little hype train will derail the second she meets me, and this is where it gets controversial. Dakota Ditcheva has been seen as the golden girl of PFL, but with rumors of her crossing over, the UFC versus PFL rivalry just got hotter. Imagine the UFC using their own pioneer Liz Carmouche as the executioner to welcome Dakota. That's how you kill two birds with one stone. Expose PFL's top star, and prove UFC women's MMA still runs the fucking world. Fans are going to war over this. Some say Liz is washed, that she's too old to hang with young killers like Dakota. Others say Dakota has never faced anyone remotely as experienced, as brutal, or as tested as Liz Carmouche. And if Dana White is backing Liz as the best? That's the UFC telling you, we believe she can end Dakota before the hype even begins. So here's the $1 million question. Do you believe Liz Carmouche? Will she end Dakota Ditcheva before her UFC career even starts? Or is Dakota about to add another victim to her highlight reel and prove she's the real face of the next women's MMA era? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget, if this fight happens, it might just be the bloodiest women's MMA torch-passing moment we've ever seen.
النقطة ديال الفايت نهار السبت مع داكوتا إن شاء الله بغيت نخليها مفاجأة للجمهور ولكن أنا أكيد جاية من بلادي وهذه الفرصة اللي تحطيت فيها BFL أكيد بأنني
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, I listened to so many people talking like throughout this whole tournament. It's nice to get in the cage and showcase my skills and shut them up that way, because I'm not really bothered about like proving them wrong. Do you know what I mean? I just kind of get in the cage and prove to myself that they're all
Long range with her kicks, keeping her on the outside. Nice slip and rip there from Dakota. Push kick, drops, past the jabber, and then the right hand after it.
Nice job by Dakota keeping that underhook shallow, using that elbow to frame her out and keep distance where she can create some space and let her hands go in this clinch range.
Jabber is looking out of her element here. She's hurt to the body. That's it. The end of the fight.
PFL's golden fusion of speed and power, Dakota Ditcheva just delivered one of the most savage finishes in women's MMA at PFL playoffs 3 in 2022. She didn't just beat Hasna Gabber, she ended Hasna's career in 58 seconds. This wasn't a fight. It was a statement. Let's break down how it all went down. They met at flyweight in the PFL main card. Almost no warning, Ditcheva unloaded leg kicks, closed the distance, and dropped Gabber with a savage knee to the body. The fight was over in 0.58, complete domination. Not just a win, it was an annihilation. After the bout whispers turned into memes, Dakota ended my career, and fans weren't exaggerating. That finish was career-altering. 1 second the fight's on the next. You're in the hospital. This was just, most fighters take years to hit their rhythm. Dakota, she shattered that timeline. Now she's doing this against rising names and UFC veterans alike. Hasna may have thought she signed up for a test. Instead, Dakota showed up with a wrecking plan. That knee wasn't just a strike. It was a brand, a calling card stating, "This is what your career looks like after going near me." Here's the fear factor for UFC flyweights like Alexa Grasso or Valentina Shevchenko. You go in there with technique or legacy, but Ditcheva hits with something newer, faster, more explosive. Her game feels built for modern MMA. So what now? Does Dana White call her up after this obliteration? Or does PFL keep her locked away for more carnage? One thing's clear: when you see her working out, you don't train. You pray. Who's next for Dakota? Smash the comments and let me know. And don't forget to subscribe for more fight breakdowns.
Your headline, I think that'd be amazing. I think when Dakota's healthy, I would love a chance to be able to fight Dakota.
One of the dream fights I want to see is White House, myself and Dakota. And that's a huge bucket list item to be able to do, like fight in front of the president in the White House. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? And I think that Dakota and I both have the skills and the excitement to bring it, to showcase everything everybody wants to see and make that the fight people see.
She could start asserting some dominance on this round, in my opinion. Oh,
Bishop's in bad and Liz Carmouche pounds out a world tournament victory.
Liz Carmouche just dropped a fucking bombshell at PFL World Tournament 9. Fresh off her brutal TKO win, the 41-year-old veteran grabbed the mic and called out none other than Dakota Ditcheva, the undefeated golden girl of the PFL. And she didn't stop there. Carmouche demanded the PFL open a brand new women's bantamweight division just so she can headline a super fight against Dakota at 135 pounds. This is massive. A 41-year-old legend calling out the undefeated PFL star who everyone thinks is the future of women's MMA. First, let's break down what happened inside that cage. Carmouche went to war with Gina Bishop, and while the early rounds weren't easy, Bishop nearly tapped her with multiple submissions. Liz dug deep and did what legends do. She cracked Bishop with a vicious counter left hook in round 3, dropped her like a stone, and finished with ground and pound. That finish not only gave Carmouche the 2025 PFL Women's Flyweight Tournament title, but also a fat $500,000 prize check. And here's the crazy part. Liz is now on a 3-fight win streak, 12-1 since leaving the UFC, and still adding belts to her resume at 41 years old. But it wasn't the knockout that shook the MMA world, it was the call-out. Liz said straight up she wants the PFL to open a bantamweight division at 135 pounds. And who does she want as her first fight? Dakota fucking Ditcheva. Think about this. Carmouche is a former UFC title challenger, the last ever Bellator flyweight champion, and now a PFL tournament winner. She's already fought the best of her generation, but instead of coasting, she's coming for the next big thing, Dakota. This is pure chaos because Dakota is undefeated, 12-0, and being hyped as the PFL's version of Valentina Shevchenko. Here's where the controversy kicks in. On one hand, Carmouche is 41 years old, but she's on the best run of her career. On the other, Dakota is in her absolute prime, a killer striker with highlight reel knockouts that have fans comparing her to Amanda Nunes and Valentina. Is Liz chasing greatness, or is she setting herself up to be fed to the younger lion?
The PFL has really gone behind your teammate, Dakota Ditcheva. First off, what do you think of her performances so far this year?
Bro, she's a killer. She's a killer. She's the future of MMA, and I think that she's only getting better. She's young, she's hungry, she's disciplined, she's motivated. She's got a good head on her shoulders.
And remember, Kayla Harrison has already said Dakota would kill Valentina Shevchenko in 15 seconds. Now, Carmouche is basically volunteering to step into that fire. If this fight happens at 135, it could redefine the women's game, but it could also get ugly fast. Let's not forget, Liz Carmouche is already a trailblazer. First woman to ever fight in the UFC back in 2013 against Ronda Rousey, former Bellator champ with 3 title defenses. And now a PFL tournament winner with $500,000 in the bank. She's fought the legends, but calling out Dakota shows she's not just living in the past, she wants to take down the future. That's legacy talk, that's GOAT talk. But for Dakota, this is also a gift. Imagine headlining against Carmouche, beating her, and cementing herself as the star that carries the PFL women's divisions forward. Liz Carmouche dropped a bombshell at PFL World Tournament 9, and now the ball is in Dakota Ditcheva's court. Will the PFL make this super fight at 135 pounds? Will Dakota accept the challenge? Or will Carmouche's legendary run finally meet the brick wall of an undefeated monster? One thing's for sure, this is the fight nobody saw coming, but now everyone wants to see. Drop your thoughts below. Does Liz Carmouche have a real shot? Or will Dakota run straight through her like everyone else? Make sure you like, subscribe, and stay tuned because this story is only getting crazier. Dakota Ditch-freaking-Eva just dropped the truth bomb nobody saw coming, crying in the cage after another dominant win. And no, it wasn't joy. It was frustration. It was pain. And it was a warning to the UFC. I'm stuck.
Even though I look up to her a lot, I still want to be in her position and be able to beat someone like her. So
you could fight any female right now. Who would you want to go with?
Valentina Shevchenko right now. I want to be at the top.
This is legacy versus legacy to be. Valentina is one of the most well-rounded fighters in MMA history. She reads opponents like code, downloads your game in real time, and exploits the first bug she finds. Dakota? She's got that unorthodox rhythmic striking that could actually throw Valentina off early. Long knees, feints, switch kicks from odd angles. But here's where Reggie gets real. Dakota still needs more 5-round reps. Her pace can dip late, and Valentina is the queen of championship round adjustments. Still, imagine a fully dialed in Dakota with sharpened counter wrestling and championship caliber cardio on point. If she dethrones Shevchenko, especially by spectacular knockout, it wouldn't just be an upset. It would catapult Dakota into instant superstardom and turn her into a household name overnight. We're talking late show appearances, global endorsements, the works. That's the rocket ship moment everyone's waiting on, and it would stamp her GOAT application in permanent ink.
Dakota Ditcheva, 15 wins, 0 losses, one of the most exciting undefeated killers in MMA. She just beat Sumiko Inaba at PFL Africa with style, power, and absolute control. But instead of celebrating, Dakota was in tears. I think I've injured my left hand. I'm more gutted because I've been out for so long and I'm injured again. You could see it in her eyes. Dakota didn't just break her hand, she broke inside. This was supposed to be her return, her moment. Instead, she's left with pain, a damaged hand, and more time on the shelf. And let's talk facts. Fans have been begging for Dakota in the UFC. Laura Sanko called her the